Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading that has one purpose and one purpose only. That is inspire you to manifest. Manifesting is the most powerful tool any human being has because it allows you to help influence, if not create, your destiny. Now, I've done astrology for over 50 years. I know that you can do somebody's chart right from birth. You have the location, you have the time, you got all the stuff that you need. You can lay out their life. You can talk about their personality, quirks and pluses, and you can talk about all that side of it. You can take a look at what some of the high spots and low spots will be in their lifetime. It's amazing what you can tell. Astrology is not a tool of the devil unless a devil is using it. Astrology is simply the science of cycles. Planets move around just like we circle the sun. We have our seasons. Within that, from a social context, we have our holidays, our special days, our birthdays, whatever. And we know when these things are coming because we're familiar with a specific cycle. Same thing with astrology. It doesn't make anything happen. It talks about frequency. It talks about energy. And we all know how important frequency and energy are. They are essential. They are at the basis of everything that exists. So, whoever gave us this information must have given it to us many, many, many thousands of years ago, probably in prehistory. Because there's no way in hell that we could figure these cycles out. Yes, we could see that certain planets moved in the sky, but to make these correlations with these movements to our human experience, that's way beyond. So I've done astrology, as I said, for over 50 years. It's a science of cycles. There is science behind it. I'm not going to get into it now. I've talked about it before. I'm spending time here talking about tarot, which is the science of potential, which means everything is possible provided you put it in your imagination. You need to see it, you need to hear it, you need to feel it, you even need to taste it, if that's possible. You got to get the senses involved, and you got to make this a 3D event. Put it this way, you are creating your own matrix. That's what this manifesting is all about. You are manipulating your own matrix, not letting somebody else do it. So my job is to inspire you to do that. How I do it? 5 cards. That's it. I don't put out 50 or 500 like a lot of other tarot readers do. I've done tarot for over 20 years, as I said, astrology for over 50, so I'm kind of familiar with this. None of this is devil's work unless a devil is doing it. Astrology, science of cycles. Tarot, science of potential. So we take a look at the 5 cards. That's all I need. Figure out, put them together, come up with a frequency. That frequency is stated in a word or a sentence. It talks about the energy in that spread. I do a brand new reading every day, 365, holidays, it doesn't make any difference. Your inspiration is my main goal, so I do this every day. If you expect that every reading is going to connect with you, please don't expect that. It never happens, whether you're doing astrology, numerology, or tarot. Too many people, too many options, too many choices, too many different competing frequencies. So let's say we were to put a group of 100 people together. Average day we may get 5 or 10 people out of that 100 where it really resonates with them. They take ownership. That doesn't mean the other 90 or 85 or 80 or whatever the number is. It doesn't mean that they're out of it. It just means that there wasn't an exact match. Maybe close. Maybe not close at all. That's normal. That's perfect. That's not a big deal. We got tomorrow. We got next week. We got next month. Believe me, at some point the energy is going to match up with you. When it does, go like hell. Go all in. And when I say go all in, these times we are living in are go all in times. No halfway, no half-ass. You can't do that. For the first time in recorded history, that is the last 7,000 years, once we go farther back, we have geologic history, we even have some archaeological history, but we don't have enough to tell a real story. So we go back 6,000 or 7,000 years. In this last 6,000 or 7,000 years, we can sort of kind of follow a story, although we've been lied to about history. Nevertheless, we still can kind of ferret our way through all of that mess. In that 6,000 or 7,000 years, we have never been in the position we're in right now. Mass suicide. Because that's what's happening on the planet. We're not doing a damn thing to protect ourselves or to save ourselves, while the psychopaths are trying to take over. They have said very clearly between now and 2050, 90% of us have to go away. Goodbye. We don't want you. Too many people on the planet. The other 10% will be there to, in one way or another, serve the rich. That's their plan. They've said it point blank since, if you've been listening, since at least the 1990s and probably earlier than that. And you take a look at the world around you right now, you see not one, not two, three hurricanes. You see the fires out west, mysteriously. The people who live in the area go, wait a minute, this does not make sense. Just last night, I ran across stories with crows. I mean, if you've seen the movie The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock movie The Birds, it's the same thing. Crows out on the west coast in California, and I think on the Mississippi, I think it might be in the state of Mississippi. Crows by the many, 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 many thousands. Freaking people out in those two areas. What the hell is going on? Something is going on. Plus, there's all the other stuff that's happening in society as well. These are serious times. And it's at this point where I want to inspire you to manifest so that you can put out a positive energy. We need desperately to do this. And we go to the middle card for the reading. It's the Oracle card. It's the main theme in today's reading, and it says never-ending story. And you look at her like she's exhausted. She's exasperated. It's just the same old, same old, same old, same old. God almighty, when is it going to end? Well, with tarot and many other things as well, we can begin to turn the tide. Not all change is good. A lot of change is very bad, and we're on that tipping point. We could have a phenomenal world where people live more completely, more fulfilled lives, better lives. Or we could be like I was saying earlier, we could be part of the 90% that is just taken off the planet because there's just too many of us around. That's what the rich people say. So at this point, life is a never-ending story. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, it's just pounding and pounding. Well, you can see the look on the, I guess you would call it fairies. I mean, she's just, her head in her hands is just like, holy shit. And that's the way it feels for most people these days anymore. The meme for today comes from Ian Watson. He says, if you have to be persuaded, reminded, pressured, lied to, incentivized, coerced, bullied, socially shamed, guilt-tripped, threatened, punished, and criminalized, if this is considered necessary to gain your compliance, you can be absolutely certain that what is being promoted is not in your best interest. There is all kinds of censoring going on. There are all kinds of prohibitions going on. You can't find out about this. They won't tell you about that. Here we send billions to Israel, billions to Ukraine, and we can't help out the people here at home because of hurricanes. $700 or $750, whatever the amount was. It's the same thing they did in Hawaii. Interfered with help. Something is going on. The crows tell us. The fires tell us. The hurricanes tell us. We know that the government has been experimenting officially with weather involvements since World War II. We know that. Everybody knows the story about Vietnam. We created a hellacious weather situation there during the Vietnam War to help beat the Vietnamese, which we didn't end up doing anyway. Well, I hope the same is here true, that whatever they're doing, it's not going to make a difference. And one of the ways to help the situation is for me to try to help inspire you to get you to manifest. Let's go all the way to the left. First card, Chariot card. Chariot card talks about victory, willpower, focus, self-control. And that's really what's called for right now. And that's why you have to manifest. You put that energy together, you put that energy out. And the more positive imaging, manifesting, materializing we can expect. We're going to have to get into some action at some point. I mean, we can't just sit and ohm our way through. We're going to have to stand up, be counted, and I think it's going to be pretty vicious. But the first step is manifesting in you a much better, fairer future. A future that you can be excited and enthused about. That's the Knight of Wands. Knights always bring gifts. The Knight of Wands says positivity, enthusiasm, joy, gratitude. Make that what you manifest with your focus, your chariot focus. Go for the next card, the Six of Wands, victory. Personal victory. Manifest your future in your head. And if enough people do that, we can turn this thing around. It will not be the never-ending story it feels like right now, but it's up to us individually. Final card is the Knight of Swords. Knights, as I said, bring gifts. Swords are thoughts, ideas, philosophies, thinking. Look at him charging. Look at him just off and running. That's the way you have to be with your manifesting. That's the way you have to carry yourself on the inside. This never-ending story that we're going through right now is in large part self-imposed because we have allowed it to happen. We've been lazy, we've been cowards. And so this is the end result. It's gone from bad to worse, our never-ending story. But it's up to you. You can make a difference. No, it's not a big difference. No, it's not going to change the world, but it may change your world. If it changes your world, it's going to change somebody else's world. That's the point. But just remember this as you're going through all of this. Again, back to Ian Watson. If you have to be persuaded, reminded, pressured, lied to, incentivized, coerced, bullied, socially shamed, guilt, tripped, threatened, punished, and criminalized, you can be absolutely certain that what is being promoted is not in your best interest. It should be obvious by now. They do not care. George Carlin was absolutely right. With that information, what are you going to do with your life? It's your life. It's your responsibility. That's the reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another Tao Manifested reading. Between now and the next time you and I get together, peace and blessings.